Hey YouTube, it's me. We're going on a walk again today. I'm actually really happy because this is the first real walk I've been able to take in days. It's been raining. It's also been cold, hence hoodie. It's beginning to feel a lot like autumn, and it's been cold. I'm just going to keep saying it's been cold because, as always, as the seasons change, which weather I complain about changes too. Now it's time for me to start complaining about the cold. But I figured I would take you with me. And the first thing we're going to look at is look at the fungus. All the little shelf mushrooms. I think autumn is one of my favorite times for mushrooms. Not because I'm going to eat them, because I'm not. They're gross. But just the whole mushrooms popping up in the woods. Like, look at these guys. I almost missed them because they looked like leaves. I don't know anything about how to ID mushrooms. I just appreciate them because they're pretty. I think my favorite ones are the reds and the oranges. Could just be because they're so vibrant that they just jump out to you. But yeah, we'll probably see some autumn leaves. I got a picture of a bunch of them that I wish there would have been sunlight for. But although I do see some blue sky up there, it's mostly gray. Which meant that my son very rightfully reminded me that if I was going to go out on a walk, I should bring an umbrella. So I did. Which meant I had to put on my backpack. Look at this lumpy tree. Oh, dude, you're so lumpy. It's also trippy to realize that I think that's some sort of a birch, but I don't know if that's really a paper bark birch. Although maybe. Oh, that is so cool looking. Okay, does anybody else see a face in there? Like, right up in this corner? It looks like a goblin. Anyway, how are you guys doing? I hope your weather is better than ours has been. I don't necessarily mind that it's cooled off. I just mind the battleground that our atmosphere has become. Because I think it was just maybe just 7 days ago that I thought I was going to sweat to death. In fact, I think just maybe 3 or 4 days ago, I thought I was going to sweat to death. And now I'm freezing. Well, as long as I'm outside and moving, I'm not freezing. And I have wanted to get out on a walk for the last couple days. And every time I'm like, I'm going for a... it would start downpouring. Oh, these are cooler looking. That's neat. I don't know. One day maybe I should find out about mushrooms, but for now, I just appreciate them. Like, look at the colors on that one same branch, and I think they're all the same kind of mushroom, just at different stages. And then more of the little shelves that look like little, they almost look like seashells. Yes, this is where my brain goes when I'm out walking. Either that or to song lyrics. There's usually a soundtrack going in my head at all times. It's probably a good thing it can't be broadcast outside of my own body, or I would irritate people. Anybody else like that? Where one person saying just one phrase triggers a song to start in your head. Hello, squirrel. I see you. All of the animals know that it's autumn. The trees are showing it. The animals are all frantically trying to fatten up. They're doing that last push. And I think if I were blindfolded, I would still be able to tell that it's autumn just by the smell in the air. And I can't describe it. Somebody dropped their mushroom down there. I can't really describe the smell, but it's a very distinctive autumn smell. That's the other thing I've noticed living up here. Each season literally has its own smell. Also, houses. Shh. We'll be very, very quiet. I love these paths because even when you think you're deep in the woods and there's nobody around, sometimes there is. Also, the sunlight glinting off the water over there is very pretty. Later on, this path does delve deeper into the woods. Paths are funny. You know, they're just areas that it was maybe slightly easier to walk. And over time, people kept walking on those paths. And over time, the animals saw that there was a path, so they started using it. Or maybe they used it first. And then before you know it, you have a followable path through the trees. And even after the snow melts, you can come out and find it again, even if nobody's really walked on it for like an entire season. Philosophy with Christine. Does it make any sense? Probably not. That's okay, though. You can also see, I don't know if you notice how bumpy the forest is. That's because after the Great Depression, most of the woods up here were clear cut. And that was one of, I think it was Roosevelt, after the Depression. My historical facts are always iffy. But the one that created the Civilian Conservation Corps, he came through and just hired tons of people to come out and replant these woods. They did a bunch of other like restoration projects and things. But one of the big things that they did was replant the woods. And sometimes you can still come across the remains of their camps that they had. It was, I think, called the Civilian Conservation Corps. And they did a lot of stuff up here. I guess they did a lot of stuff like everywhere across the entire nation. But up here, their hand is still very seeable. I think because we have such a low population. Oh, that water is really pretty. Also, it might have been too early to come out because my feet are soaking wet now. Okay, you can tell the people who live up here year-round by the size of their wood pile. That's a lot of wood. Honestly, that's very impressive. And it looks like they're not done yet. Oh man. Sometimes I envy people who heat with wood because there's so much of it. Then I remember that you have to do the whole chopping it and all of that. Oh, more mushrooms. I wonder if those are puffballs. They kind of look like puffballs. I would have to ask my neighbor. I have a neighbor that goes out hunting for puffballs because evidently they're edible. All I know about puffballs is when they get big and turn brown, you can step on them and they go puff. Hence the name puffball. I have no great love of mushrooms, so you're not going to see me volunteering to try them. I'll have to remember if I see my neighbor to let him know about those. The neighbor also goes out every spring looking for morels? Question mark? I think that's the name of the mushroom. And another one that's called hen of the woods. Look at me remembering mushrooms that I'll never eat. I also love how almost every path through the woods eventually leads you to a road. And then more paths. Oh, I don't know if you saw it, but that river that we found the other day, that was so trippy. Because we were just driving along, minding our own business. Oh, look, I found the trail again. And there was a turnoff that I've seen for years. Just one of those little, like, pull off the highway. Almost looks like a U-shaped little driveway. And I've seen it for years. And I've always thought, I should stop there. See why there's a turn out there. Never did. And then finally did. And I'm so glad that I did. Because that was really pretty. Okay. That mushroom, the texture and the pattern on it is so cool looking. Oh, this one's got a hole. It looks like a spaceship. The Starship Enterprise of mushroom. Even without the boys, very rarely do I go on a walk that doesn't meander. But yeah, that river was very cool. And the song that I played in the short of it that went up yesterday, literally every time I am near any kind of a river, that song starts playing in my head. Which is called, I think it's called As I Go. Which it always messes me up because I always search for it under the title River. And the artist that sings it, Natalie Merchant, actually has a song called River. But it's not about that kind of a river. Oh, the sun came out. Okay, that's pretty. But yeah, her song River is actually about River Phoenix. Not the same thing at all. Although also a good song. If you haven't listened to Natalie Merchant, she's a really good singer. She was in 10,000 Maniacs back in the 80s. And then she broke off, went solo, and had a stunning solo career. And I don't know what she's doing, like, right now. But as of 5 years ago, she was still recording music. And she's one of those, her voice, look at that, we're back pretty much where we just walked by. We're doing loop-de-loops through the woods, people. But her voice, I actually saw her in concert. Haven't been to many concerts in my life, but that was one that I have been to. And her voice is one of those that's almost better live than on recording, which I feel like these days that's just way too rare. I've heard a lot of people complaining about going to concerts, and even with the auto-tune that they can do at concerts now, just being so disappointed at the singer's voice. But not Natalie. Her voice was just good. And it's still really good. She re-recorded, I think 5 years ago, a lot of her more famous solo stuff. I think she completely re-recorded her albums Tiger Lily and Ophelia. And they still sound as good, but her voice got richer, maybe? Like her voice matured. Not the way mine does, where sometimes I just sound like an old lady and my voice is shaky. But now her voice just got more resonant. It's very impressive. Almost as impressive as the woods. I'm actually hoping that we find some leaves that are changing color, but they're just beginning. I found some. And I'm never sure if I'm happy or sad to find the leaves changing. It reminds me that winter is coming. Insert obligatory Game of Thrones meme. Which I'm not going to do because I'm not actually going to be editing this. I'm just going to go home and upload it. Because I'm lazy. Story of my life. I have so many good ideas. But a lot of times they fall apart in execution. And I default to, I'm just going to film a walk in the woods. I'm also really glad that the trail goes this way and not that way. Not that I haven't crawled through tangles of trees like that before, but I'd rather not. You know, it's funny. I have gone for much longer walks than I did the other day in walking around Escanaba. Oh, look at these guys. But I would so much rather walk outside on the nice, forgiving soil. Somebody kick that guy over. You almost expect to see roots, but they don't really have them. Oh, and more oranges. I don't know what kind of mushrooms those are. I just call them pumpkin mushrooms. Because they come up in the fall. And they look like pumpkins. And they're everywhere. Oh yeah, anyway. Concrete. Very unforgiving on your feet. And knees. Maybe I'm just getting old. I probably am. But it took me, I don't know, a day or two for my knees not to be screaming about walking 7 miles on concrete, and I'm not sure that they're completely over it. Hello, birdie. Oh, he shut up. Okay, this walk was a very good idea. And maybe the umbrella was unnecessary. I feel like it probably was unnecessary. But if I hadn't brought the umbrella, it would have poured. Because that's just the way things go. Anyway, let me know in the comments if you have a constant concert and running monologue going in your head at all times like I do. Good part about that is it's hard to get bored. Bad part is it's hard to stay on track. And also, like, if you do have or did have a concert going in your head at all times, is it mixed or does it stick to one genre? Every once in a while, the concert in my head throws me for a loop and I'm like, I don't even like that song. Can we change the channel? Unfortunately, there's not a change the channel dial in your head, which is sad. There should be one. But yeah, I just realized I've been babbling at you guys for 20 minutes. That's probably enough time. Eventually I'll get home so I can upload this, because it actually needs to go up in a couple of hours. Because yesterday was a day when all I wanted to do was sleep. I didn't actually sleep, but that's what I wanted to do. Anyway, as always, please do hit the thumbs up as you leave. It does always make me happy. And I will, well, and shout out to my Patreon members, Deanne and Hazel. Appreciate you guys so much. And now, I'll see you guys next time.